Hi, and welcome to On the Hook Crochet, where we find out what's on the hook. This morning I am going down to my craft room, and I'm going to take you with me, and we're going to go down and take a look at the scarf and take a look at it now that it's been blocked and it's dry and ready to take up. Also, we're going to take a look at winding the silk yarn that I bought to make a tank top from, and I'm winding that onto my ball winder, and you can see some progress with that as I move along. So I'm going to insert that video right here, and then I'll be back. I wanted to show you the KnitCrate scarf that I made, and see if it is, yeah, it's focusing okay. And I'm blocking it. If you'll see that I've got it lined up along the edge here of my squares that I put together. And these are squares that just fit together. They're real simple to use. And I actually have it on my ironing board, see? Instead of using my craft table, which is over in the corner, if you can see that, I'm actually winding a hank of silk yarn that we talked about earlier in an earlier video. So I just wanted to show you this because I'm going to take it off and talk about it in my video. So I just wanted you to see how I had that laid out. I did actually line it up pretty well here, and this is the angle, and I measured across this way, and then I measured this way. I've got the yarn on the Swift and hooked onto my ball winder, and I'm winding the yarn onto my ball winder. You'll follow that along there. Here's my Swift just going to town. It's an Amish Swift that I bought. Whoops, let me turn the camera around. Here is the Swift that I bought, and the ball winder. You just turn it with your hand. Pretty easy process once you get it set up. The trick is to, when you set it up, to put the yarn on the Swift and make sure that it's not twisted, because if you have it twisted, the yarn will hang up and it's so annoying. So what I do is I make sure that the yarn is all coming off the same side of the hank, because sometimes it gets wound around and it'll come off the inside and then it gets hung up. So this is just a process that you have to go through, and I think each one of these hanks has 600 yards on it, so I'm going to be standing here for a while. Hello, and welcome to my channel where we find out what's on the hook today. I am back, and I am going to talk about this beautiful KnitCrate scarf that I finally finished. In my previous video, I took you to my craft room where we looked at this scarf being blocked and dry. I sprayed it with water and let it dry for about 3 days, and it turned out quite beautifully. And I will tell you, because this Knitology sheen yarn is 75% merino wool, 15% silk, and 10% cashmere fingering weight, which I'm not used to using. But I did step out and enjoyed making this. Now, I'm going to stand up and let you see it. It turned out absolutely beautiful. Oh, look at that. And after you block it, it has a really nice drape. It was kind of all scrunched up before, but after you block it, you stretch it out a little bit and wet it, let it dry. It is absolutely gorgeous. Look at that. Turned out so nice. Now, one thing I did talk about in a previous video was that this pattern looks very detailed, and it's done in a lace stitch in some places. Most of the scarf is done in the lace stitch, in this stitch right here. I don't know if you can see through that, but eventually, after you get to a certain width, the designer has you do ribs and then back to the lace, then ribs, back to the lace. So it gives the scarf added interest, and it does look quite beautiful. What I did with this is I did not make it by the pattern. Shame on me. I couldn't help it. I got toward the end of my ball of yarn and I was running out. And I didn't want to play yarn chicken, so I decided to make the scarf a little bit shorter. I took the liberty of not doing the third set of rib. I think there were probably 4 rows that you do across in a ribbed pattern, and it takes a lot of yarn to do that. So I left that out and I completed the scarf with the lace stitch, and you can see that right there. And then I put the edging on it, which is a picot stitch. I don't know if you can see that, but the little picots here across the end, and it gives the scarf that finished look on the end. I hope you can see that. Yes, there it is. You can see that. Again, this yarn is very busy, and because it's so busy, you don't see the detail in the scarf like you would with a solid yarn color. So if I was making it again, I would probably buy a solid color yarn, but I will show you that. I'm wearing it with an ice blue shirt. It looks quite wonderful with this. It'll look great with a navy shirt, with a yellow shirt, with a white shirt. So you can wear it a myriad of ways. Probably wear it, I'm going out tonight, so I'll wear this, and I'll wear a white denim jacket over it just because it's a little bit cool outside, and it will be spectacular. I love this. I never thought that I would. When I first got it, I thought I really like that, but I wasn't really sure how it was going to look. I don't know if I would repeat this pattern. What I would do if I was making it again in the fingering weight yarn, I would buy a solid color, and then I would make it the way I want to. I would make most of it lace. I might add a couple of rib sections on, and that would be it. This is not a very, very long scarf. I'll take it off. It's about 8 inches shorter than the designer designed it. About 8 inches shorter. But again, you know that I'm kind of a short person, so I didn't want this huge long scarf. And you know what? I ran out of yarn. I was watching a video by Kim at Kim's Crochet and Knits. I think that's the name of it. And she and I have bantered back and forth about a couple of things, and she had made the scarf and it was gorgeous. She made it just like the pattern, but she ran out of yarn before she got to the edging. And I saw that right before I finished my scarf, and I thought, you know, I really ought to check that. And sure enough, I was getting very low and I didn't have enough to complete the scarf and put the edging on it. When you're making a scarf, you can ad-lib very easily, unlike a sweater where you have to kind of stay with the program. With a scarf, you can make it as long or short as you want. You can make it as detailed or not detailed as you want. If you get tired of doing a stitch, do a different stitch. You know, it's not carved in stone what you have to do. But I am very pleased with this, and I'm glad that I joined up with KnitCrate because I really wasn't going to do that. But look at all the different ways you can wear this too. I'm just kind of twisting this in, turning it around, and then that, if you wear it with a jacket, you wear this in the front and you can see all the detail on this beautiful scarf. And it's a natural fabric like a wool, a cashmere, silk. You should really block it, and it's not hard to do. You just buy, or you can do it on towels, I guess, but I bought the squares that you use that you slip together, and you'll see that in the video, and pin it down, spray it with water, and leave it alone for a couple, 3 days. And you come back and it's gorgeous. So, you know, it's a win-win when you do your blocking. It's just having to get it set up and everything. So a scarf is really easy. I did it on my ironing board, and just laid them out on my ironing board because it was a long platform, so I could do that. So just a suggestion for you. Come back and find out what's on the hook.